Hello, everyone. We are joined by Jerrwin from Sentinels coming in after their insane win today against 2G, where they pretty much dominated to move on in the lower bracket. So, firstly, how are you feeling after that win today?
Feeling pretty good. Nice and clean like we all wanted. I didn't play my best map one, but I'm glad we all look sharp.
So, of course, you've been kind of the main duelist for the team, but now you've got John stepping into the Phoenix role as well. So, how has that been having your team leader right beside you, fragging out?
Um, yeah, I mean John's flexible. He plays every role, so the only thing he missing was duelist, so he wanted to get some duelist reps in.
He's trying to become the Forsaken of NA. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, yep. And he's the IGL, so it fits everything.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, so how are you guys feeling when he pulled off that 1v4 on Split? I think it was like 9-4 or something the score, and he
Yeah, it
just
was on. They forced and they almost had it, but I think I'm trying to remember the round. I think it was that they were supposed to eco, so it kind of caught us off guard. They caught me off guard at least in vents, but John was looking really sharp today, so he got it done for us. It was nice.
and of course talking about that map number two as well. You guys had a huge lead, but 2G were able to kind of make that comeback. So at what point I think you guys took a timeout. So what exactly did you guys do to stop the comeback and just be able to close it out?
Yeah, it was a good time out from Ewok. We noticed that their Viper was getting a lot of value. Venom, he was looking really, really scary lurking up A, so we had to make some adjustments to deal with him, but I'm glad we were able to still close it out.
And of course, since you joined the team, it's been a little bit up and down, but I think that you guys have been finally able to hit your form. So, what kind of stage changed ahead of stage two and ahead of play-ins? Like, what have you guys been working on the most?
Um, the work has definitely been the same throughout. We still have our jobs that we need to make week to week. This week was a little bit more like individual focus, making sure everyone's, making the right micro plays. We spent a whole lot of time making sure everyone is like confident in their ability to make the plays when they need to make them. So, it's good to see it all like working out.
And talking about you in particular, I mean, it's been a long journey for you this year, but you've definitely had the impact on the server for sure. So, how has it been making that transition from tier two now that you've been here for a while? And what do you think is the biggest difference between tier two and tier one after playing here?
The transition was, pretty sudden for me, but I think I've had some good time to adjust, and every game I feel like I'm looking more and more comfortable. So it definitely takes time, which is the biggest thing I have to learn. Like I'm not going to be the same player like immediately, unless I'm Jesus or something. But it was the hardest thing for me is just translating the game I'm used to online, like translating online was pretty difficult for me at the start. But getting more comfortable with each rep has definitely helped a lot.
Play-ins, it's been pretty fun for you. I don't know if fun is the word, but it's been pretty fun to watch as a viewer. Just a disclaimer there. How's it been going up against watching these tier two teams kind of play super well? I think that Americas is the only region apart from EMEA where a team has actually won a game. So, what do you think of the standard or the level? What do you think is like the biggest difference in terms of like fundamentals or whatever?
I think obviously there are levels to tier one and tier two. As much as people say the gap is not as big as you think, I think, like these teams came from playing online to all of a sudden having to play on LAN is obviously the adjustment they have to make. It's not easy for them, obviously. I'm surprised the EU teams are doing so well. I think it's like one of the hardest things for me at least. So I don't think I would be able to come out and just dominate the play-ins
Hmm.
the way some teams have been. So, just lots of respect to all the tier two teams who have come and put up a fight in NA. Obviously, 2G was looking good. They won the LCQ, and yeah, I mean it's tough, but that's how it is.
Fair enough. And since you joined the team, I mean, it's been a beautiful journey to watch all of you guys. Of course, the content is always good. So, how has it been, kind of joining the team as a newest player and figuring out bonding, figuring out team roles? How did you guys manage to build that chemistry in a relatively short time, I would say?
Yeah, the chemistry was pretty quick to be honest. Like all the guys have been super. They're all like super easy to get along with. I think like even on stage today, you can see everyone just like laughing, having fun. Vibes are like always good with this group of people. But yeah, I mean it's definitely taken a lot more time than we wanted it to like find our form, find our stride. But hopefully we can just carry this momentum into the next match.
Hmm. And I mean, playing in VCT Americas, what do you think is the most amazing thing, and what's the most difficult thing for you personally?
Difficult is I'd say like, adjusting to every team. Week to week, not every team is the same. MD plays one way, 2G is gonna play another way. So adjusting pretty quick is always gonna be a little bit of a struggle. But I mean, yeah, playing on stage is always fun. Tier two matches are fun and all, but tier one, like the excitement from playing a tier one match is just unmatched. It's like I'm not taking any match for granted. It's all been like a lot more fun than I expected.
Yeah, I think it's definitely been pretty exciting, especially like in stage two. And how do you feel about all the map changes? This is something that I'm asking a lot of players because it feels like the map pool this year has been changing really fast. So, how has it been for you as a team to kind of acclimatize to, especially with champions coming up and another change coming up with Abyss coming back into the pool?
So we adjust pretty well. I mean, you can't really ever just sit there and complain about like, so many changes coming. You just have to adjust and adapt in the time that you have. And luckily, like everyone on the team works really hard. They put in a lot more hours than I'd say the average team. So
Hmm.
like the coaches, IGL, like they have stuff ready, and at any time, like a agent is adjusted or like a map pool is changing, like I feel like the adjustments are always ready, and we're always like quick to pick up on it.
Fair enough. And your next game, it's going to be versus either Crew or Fluxo. So is there a preference as to who you like to play? Do you want revenge on Crew or do you want to play a new team? Like, what are you guys thinking?
To be honest, it doesn't really matter to me who it is. If it is crew, it's just gonna be like more of a revenge game for me. I didn't play too well for our last time we met, so I'm definitely gonna be looking forward to that if it is crew, which I think they'll be so if they look good today, though, I think they'll be a clean 2-0.
Oh, okay. That's pretty exciting take to hear. And now talking about the meta in particular, as a duelist player, what would like as someone who plays Neon a lot as well, how has it been since the nerf? Has it like kind of made you change your opinion of her? And how do you think the meta is in general, like, your opinion of it?
Um, the meta right now is definitely interesting. Neon Phoenix is definitely very strong, and I think every team just should be playing it. Like it's kind of a I think before like sometimes comps would be like you don't need a certain thing or like you don't need to play a certain comp even though it's the strongest comp. But like right now, I feel like if you're not running Neon Phoenix on majority of your maps, it's you're kind of missing out.
Hmm.
But Neon's been strong the whole year, so it's kind of been like been the same for me. Not really much variety, unfortunately, but that's just how it is. So it's just making sure I can play at the top level.
Yeah, I mean, I did see that you were playing a little bit of Whaley and Raze here and there, but it does seem to be mostly Neon Geo. So, personal question, do you ever get bored?
Yeah. Um, I'd say Neon's not a really boring character. Like, kind of always a lot of happening. So it's that's kind of on the good sides of if it is any character gonna one trick, at least like Neon's always like you got something going on at all times.
Better than playing Cypher and sitting in a corner watching the
Yeah,
cam.
I mean, it's definitely a lot more things going on. So keeps me entertained.
Okay, and your personal journey, I mean, it's been a very long year for you so far. So, what do you think is the biggest learning that you've had from it?
I think the amount of hours that is required for you to play at a top level in tier one, it's definitely not something I expected. In tier two, you can kind of like not slack off, but obviously like it's not as demanding as tier one. Like wanting to stay in like form, making sure you're like making all the right decisions. You have to put hours into like not only your mechanics, but also like you have to watch a lot and sit like a lot of the grind isn't only just sitting there just mindlessly game training. So it's a lot of like a lot of a lot more to your game than people can see.
Okay, and second last question before I let you go. What do you think about Summit?
Alright, I like it. I like the way it plays. I think we also have a pretty good understanding of the map, so like we're all pretty comfortable on it. At least me, like I enjoy playing the Whaley on the map.
Hmm.
But yeah, as opposed to like other maps in the pool, I don't mind it at all.
Fair enough. And I wanted to ask you, why is your gamer tag Jerwin? How did you come up with it?
Think I made it like a long time ago, way before Val or like I was even like competing in any games or playing against competitive. I think it was just more like somebody mispronounced my real name. It kind of sounded like it, and I just ended up changing a few letters and just found the word.
Okay, that's pretty cute. And last question before I let you go. Who's like your biggest inspiration or role model? It could be somebody in esports, somebody outside of esports, and why?
I wouldn't say I have a specific role model, but I think I do definitely look at like professional athletes to see like their like mindset and stuff. but I wouldn't say I have one specific person I like constantly I'm like looking at to see how they're like able to perform. But I think I look at like professional athletes a lot more than like normal esports players.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, thank you so much for your time and good luck for your next game.